Social Security was established in 1935 by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Part of all of his programs that he was doing to stimulate the economy after the Depression, or towards the end of the Depression. Yeah. So Social Security covers about 90% of all jobs. Some jobs are exempt from like having to contribute to Social Security taxes, but 90% of them or so are covered. Well, for example, the state of California, if you work for the state, like so if you're a teacher or state employee or whatever, the pensions out there are really good, and so you are exempt from Social Security, which means that if you retire from one of those positions, you don't earn Social Security, you don't get any Social Security, you only get your pension. So things like that. I don't know all of the exempt. I just happen to know that one. The Federal Insurance Contribution Act is what established Social Security. Okay. And what Social Security does is it provides not just retirement, I wrote retirement income, but it's not just retirement income, it's also disability income. It's basically, it's a federal program that you pay into with contributions out of your paycheck. And then if you become disabled or you can't work or you retire, then you can draw money out of that, in theory, should the money last long enough. There's questions about that right now. So they also pay money to survivors. So let's say survivors, like, so let's say you're married and your wife has worked and paid into Social Security and then she passes away, then you get her benefits. Or your children might get your benefits if they're under 18. So the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, it's known as FICA. So on your paycheck stub, you might have seen FICA taxes. Have anybody seen that? Did you get a paycheck stub? Has anybody ever looked at your paycheck stub?
I have, and it's like, I don't remember actually.
Sometimes they put FICA and sometimes they put Social Security and Medicare separately. So it depends on the payroll company. But if you see FICA, it's Social Security and Medicare taxes. And this is your Social Security and Medicare.
Social Security, like, you start getting that once you reach a certain age, right? Or
you have to retire or become disabled. You can't be working. So I can't draw Social Security. Like, let's say I retire, I can't draw on my Social Security and then go back to work and get both. One or the other. We pay income tax in this country now. Some states have a state income tax as well. We don't have state or local income taxes. We only have federal income taxes in Florida. Social Security is a required tax that comes out of your paycheck and is income based, but it is not an income tax. You do not get a refund on this at the end of the year like you can in income tax. Social Security taxes and Medicare taxes go into like a bucket. Not like a literal bucket, obviously, but like an account area bucket. And they just, everybody goes into the same bucket. And then when you retire, everybody draws out of the same bucket. So the idea is that the money is there for everyone that's been working.
Aren't we giving it to the old people now? Like what the young people is now?
Taxes are required if you work at a job that's covered by Social Security. So like I said, there's some jobs that are exempt and then you don't pay them. However, you still pay Medicare, even if you're not paying Social Security. They are based on your income, so the amount you pay is based on how much you make. So, like if you make $100,000, you're paying way more than somebody that makes $20,000, which is fair, right? But it's not income tax. It's not the same thing. So the Social Security tax covers retirement and disability. So when you hear about people that are on disability, you guys heard of that, like people that are on disability, that's Social Security. And then Medicare tax comes, basically it's health insurance. So it's health insurance for you if you're 65 or up or disabled. And the reason they do that is because, and I should say some disabled, because not everybody qualifies for Medicare, even if they're qualifying for disability. But the reason they do that is because sometimes when you retire, you don't get to keep your medical benefits. And people that are 65 and up need health care. Right? I mean, that's, yeah. So that's what this is for. So Social Security gives you, income if you're retired or you're disabled, and Medicare gives you health insurance if you're retired or you're disabled.
So that's like, I had to fill
You
out.
have your money for retirement, or you had to have
Well, yeah, I know that. I just didn't know the number of it.
Yeah, no, it started 1935, so that was the earliest anybody could do it. Okay, so you have a maximum taxable income, and that's the highest amount that can be taxed for Social Security. And as of now, that amount is $117,000. Okay, so you're taxed on your income up to $117,000. And then if you make $120,000, you're only taxed on $117,000. If you make $200,000, you're only taxed on $117,000. That's the maximum that they can take from anyone. And that's because there's a maximum that they'll pay anyone. And so what you get paid is based on what you earn. But if you make $500 million a year, they're not going to pay you that much, right? So they made a maximum of $117,000 per year. Your Social Security number is a unique number that identifies you. Yeah, wait. 9 digits. Not 10 digits, 9 digits. Okay, 9 digits. And this was originally come up with for Social Security purposes only, but then they realized that it was really useful for a whole bunch of other stuff. So it became basically your tracking number for just about everything. Your credits based off your Social Security number, all of your files. Like when you go to get your transcripts, they ask for your Social Security number. When you call to change your phone plan, they ask for the last 4 digits of your Social Security number, right? So it became your number for everything. Anybody know theirs? Have it memorized?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What are your first 3 digits?
it would be 59, 598.
598?
287.
287?
595. That's like
595.
Oh,
Yeah, mine's 595 also. I was born in Florida. So your first 3 digits identify where you're born. The rest of them identify, I guess,
I feel like the second 2 are like
what number you are.
like time, like cause like I noticed people older than me like have. Oh, me and my boy are like That's the, like, middle number.
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm not exactly 100% sure exactly how they calculate the whole thing. There's a whole bureau that does things like that, but the first three is your region, and I know the last four go in order sequentially. So if you were like 1, 2, 3, 4, then the next person would be born would be 1, 2, 3, 5, and then the next person would be born would be 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Okay. Social Security tax in 2006 was 6.2% of your income up to 94,000. So back in 2006, it was a lower maximum. Medicare tax is 1.45%. Now Medicare tax, Medicare has no maximum. So if I make $50 billion this year, I'm going to pay Medicare tax on that entire $50 billion. Okay. Which I'm going to be fine with because I'll have made $50 billion this year. So, shoot, I'll just give the government like $20 billion and help them figure things out and have $30 billion left over, right? Be fine. But, okay, so, if he earns $73,000, we want to know how much do you pay for Social Security and how much for Medicare. So, Social Security, he's under the maximum, so it's going to be the full 6.2% of his full income. So 0.062 times the 73,210. And then Medicare is 1.45% times his full income. And it will always be times the full income for Medicare.
but you know, yesterday was the day that, Breakfast Club went for detention, like 30 years in the country.
Well, Breakfast Club. Alright, 1988 Social Security tax was 7.51% to the maximum income of 45,000. If she earned 51,211, how much Social Security did she pay? Well, you only pay up to 45,000, so we can only tax that much. So she's paying 0.0751 times 45,000, because that's our max. So that other 6,000 that she made doesn't get taxed, just the first 45.